Hello class 4. We are going to continue with the same chapter, that is chapter 4. For that you have to refer to page number 42. It is adaptation in plants. In the last video we have learned about the factor that influence in the adaptation of plants. So today, and we also have discussed that plants grow in different habitats, and the plants that are found, or they are the plants that grow on the land, they are known as terrestrial plants, and the plants that grow in the water is known as aquatic plants. So today we are going to discuss about the topic, that is adaptation in terrestrial plants. When we say terrestrial plants, we know that it is the plants that grow on land. By saying that, okay, we can make out that plants grow in different areas or in different parts of the earth on the ground. These are the following that are found in the different parts of the land. The first and the foremost that we can see is plants growing in plains. Okay. Now, as we already know that the term plains are the area which is flat and it is in vast, where the climate is very very warm. It is hot in summer and cold in winter. And in plains there are the areas which receive heavy rainfall, as well as there are some areas where it receives less rainfalls. But the plants that grow in the area where it receives less rainfalls, they have a tendency, or they have adapted in such a way that they shed their leaves during the autumn, and again they replace with the green leaves during the spring season. So this type of plants are known as deciduous plants. So for the example of deciduous plants are the one of the tree we can see is sisum. Okay, sisum and teak are the deciduous trees, where it grows in the area where it receives less rainfall. And in the other part, where there are the plants that grow where it receives heavy rainfall. And this type of the trees have a characteristic that they remain evergreen throughout the year. They do not shed their leaves, and they are known as evergreen trees. And the examples of the trees, they are mainly mango trees, bamboo, and which we find in the maximum in the plains, it's ashoka trees. So bamboo, mango and ashoka trees are the example of evergreen trees that are found, or that grows in the plains. And the other characteristic that of the trees that are found are in the plains are they have got a maximum amount of branches and leaves. So that was the characteristics or the ways of adaptation that follows by the trees or the plants that grow in the plains. And let us move on to the plants growing in the desert. The term desert, you already know, it is a vast land which receives very less rainfall, as well as it is a dry region, okay, and the soil here is very sandy. So how the plants adapt or how the plants grow, or how the plants survive in this type of region, where the first and foremost characteristic is that the plant has modified the leaves in the form of needles or a thorn. Okay, needles like in a thorn, in order to prevent loss of water. And the second one is that the stems are always green, which carry the process of photosynthesis. The food is stored in the stem, as well as the water in order to provide as a food for the plant. The example for the plants that are found in the desert area are cactus, mainly cactus, aloe vera also is one of the example, and date palm. These are the trees that are found, or these are the only tree that survives in desert. Okay, let us move on to the next, that is plants growing on the hills. Hills or a mountain are the higher regions where the climate is cold as compared to the plain, and during the winter we have experience of snowfall, as well as the tree has to adapt to survive in a cold climatic condition. And mainly the characteristic or the ways of adaptation that followed by the plants are as follows. The bark they have a very strong bark, okay, and usually the trees are very tall, they are straight, and they are in cone shape, so that when the snowflake falls, it easily slides off from the tree. And the leaves are very waxy and are in a needle shape in order to prevent loss of water, okay. And the trees, they don't bear flowers. In place of flowers, they have a cone in which they bear seeds. The examples for the trees that are found in the hills or in the mountains are deodar, fir, and the deodar fir, as well as pine trees. These are the many trees that are found in the higher regions or in the hills or a mountain. And this were the adaptation. Okay, this was the adaptation shown by the plants that are found in the hills. Next is, let us move on to the next, that is fourth, plants growing in the marshy areas. Marshy areas also is known as swamps, because it's a lowland and it's a wet, okay, and the areas are fully high water content. The soil is very clay and very sticky, and usually the plants that are found in these areas are known as mangroves. And the characteristics or the main ways of adaptation that's shown in these plants are as follows. The root of this plant does not get sufficient air to breathe. So what happens is the root comes out at the surface of the soil, which is known as breathing root or air. And with the help of this, the root get the air. And because the soil is very sticky and it's very clay, so the root has to come out at the surface in order to survive. This is one of the adaptation. And the good example for the trees that are found in the marshes, swamps are it's a grey mangroves are the trees that are found in this area. And the last one, that is plants growing in the coastal area. Coastal area, as it experiences very hot and wet type of climate, and as it is next very close to the sea, so the soil is very saline or salty, and it is a area where it's a very windy area, and the trees has to adopt the following characters. The first and foremost is the tree has to withstand the strong wind, and it has to be able to adapt the soil that is very salty. And the trees are evergreen because of availability of water, which I've talked in the previous video. Okay, there is a sufficient of water. The tree remains evergreen, and the maximum what you can see is the seeds or the fruit are getting dispersed by the seas, because it's near by the sea. As it is in the coastal area, the seeds and the fruits are dispersed by the sea. And the examples for the trees that can adapt, that can survive in the coastal areas are, you can see the coconut tree, teak teak trees and the rubber, yeah, we that are found in the coastal areas. So my dear students, these are the today we have discussed adaptation in terrestrial plants, and these are the plants that grow in a different areas, okay, different areas in the different places in the terrestrial areas, okay. Then the first one is, as we have already discussed, that is plains, desert, hills, marshy areas and coastal areas, which I have already discussed their characteristics or the ways of adaptation, how they survive in these particular areas. So this was the lesson that we have discussed today, and in the next class we are going to discuss about the adaptation in aquatic plants. So thank you so much. Do take care.